necessarily those of TalkTainmentRadio.com, the management, the staff, or K&E World Network, LLC.
Live call-in talk show. Dial 1-877-932-9766 and join the conversation here on TalkTainmentRadio.com.
This is the voice of Deliverance. 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 Behold the power, the power, the power. Heard exclusively on TalkTainmentRadio.com. Radio, the way it should be heard. I'm Dr. K. Robinson.
We go where you go. This is TalkTainmentRadio.com, the world's greatest radio. You're in touch with Dr. K. Robinson and the voice of Deliverance. And this is radio, the way it should be heard. I've got a guest today that I've been trying to get on. I drug her out of a meeting in the rain, and we're here to discuss some crises that are going on in Columbus, Ohio. We say hello world, but my state is Columbus, Ohio, the greatest state in the world, and we are in crisis. We've got this young lady here that is standing up for the black community, and we have an opiate, as you know, an opiate crisis right here in Ohio. Also, we have put together a Black Women's Voting League. And this is so exciting. We just had a meeting. We're going to have a dinner tomorrow. If you want some chicken or some fish, you can call 1-877-932-9766 today and put in your order, and we will deliver. Back to the subject of today. We want Barbara to tell you who she really is. Barbara Clark.
That's who I really am. Hey, Kay. You know, I'm excited. I'm excited for being here this evening. I'm always out talking about the work that's being done in our community. You know, we have an opiate crisis in our community. The Kappa Foundation, along with the Atom Board, have teamed up to educate people on opiates and what it does, what is addiction, how does it affect the families, and the resources that are out there to help you when you come into this crisis or you have someone in your family that is on opiates or heroin or anything that is mind altering. I just want you to know that you're not alone. I am a community connector, and I will connect you to resources that will get you through this addiction, to get back on your feet, to be the person that you are truly were born to be.
Now, this is very important because many people want help and they don't know who to call, but you can call 1-877-932-9766 today and talk to Barbara live on Facebook. Yes, Talktainment Radio is now on Facebook, TV, YouTube. Also, get on YouTube, baby. Get on to the log, the facebook.com/Talktainment. You can now hear us and see us, the voice of Deliverance, right on YouTube and Facebook. So we're here for you today. We're community workers, we're activists, but above all, we're reaching out to let you know there is help for you when you're ready, if you're ready. How much does that mean, if you're ready, when you're ready, Barbara?
Well, that means a lot, because until you realize yourself that you need the help, and you want the help, you're tired of living and feeling the way you feel every day, chasing the drug, forgetting your responsibilities, things are getting worse, you're hurting people in your family, you're hurting people that love you, that you realize then, I just may need some help. And the help is out there. You can call me anytime, day or night, 614-517-2002. We also ride around. We have Narcan in our car. You know, always in 43203, any day, time, second, you'll see someone ODing on opiates. The help that's available out there is just citywide. So many organizations have teamed up with the Atom Board to make sure that you get the help when you want it. And sometimes you're forced to the help. Maybe Children's Services send you there. Maybe the judge send you there. But whenever you come, our arms and doors are open for you.
We have a long history, and every family has been touched by these addictions. Coming up as a little girl, I remember the addiction was not so much drugs, but it was alcohol. A lot of alcohol. Now we've moved into crack and to marijuana. Marijuana is addictive, and sometimes it's the first step to harder drugs. If you ask most drug addicts, they will tell you they started out on marijuana. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. Marijuana is a gateway drug. They're going to have it on the ballot. I'm telling you, please, please vote no. You don't want marijuana. And what they're putting in the marijuana may be your last puff, or maybe a puff that's going to have you walking around here with one arm up in the air and limping because of a drug overdose or somehow affecting your body and your body functions. You don't have to have that, because then you're dependent on other people to care for you. So you don't want that. What they're putting in these drugs now, the fentanyl, is taking people out of here. So begin to think what you're smoking, what you're snorting, what you're injecting in your body before you do it.
It is very evident that drugs are addictive. They become your whole life, your purpose, the reason why you get up every day to seek the first hit, and your whole day is engaged in seeking a high. What else can you do? What else are you able to do but try to get out of the pain and get high for a few seconds? My children, some of my children, my sons, were into drug dealing and drug addicts. Now they are free, and they're totally delivered from drugs. They went to prison because of drugs. They dealt drugs. They did 9 years each and spent their youth in prison. Now they have bone problems, they have health problems, they have to take medication, still for pain, but they don't do drugs anymore. So it's so debilitating to the body to tear your body down with a chemical, then try to live the rest of your life in a healthy condition is almost impossible. I would like to ask Barbara, what is the strongest thing that is needed for a person to realize they need to quit?
The strongest thing is to feel or have an experience that they wake up and first acknowledge that they need the help, that they do have a problem. And once they do that, reach out, and it's abundant. The help is abundant. I'm telling you, me being a recovering addict, once I decided that I needed to take responsibility of my life, after God putting his hand on my life, I had to be willing to do the steps. And once I done that, doors open, and they have never stopped opening. I mean, the lifestyle that I live today, only God could have given it to me, with the help of the community stepping up and being there for me with open arms.
Now, I have seen the help that comes to addicts, which is really like a miraculous vision of God, because there are people everywhere that will help you get back up on your feet. Many churches, many pastors, many women that are engaged in programming, and we've got some moving. We've got a new halfway house for ex-cons, but most of your ex-cons were addicts, and that was why they got locked up. I ministered to a girl a couple of weeks ago, and she was evidently a dealer, and she got totally delivered that day. She was so happy, but she took an offer to go back out there. And while she was out there, somebody shot her in the filling station. Let me tell you, you can't stay on drugs as long as you used to. You're going to have to make it up in your mind that you're going to change and hold on to that. No matter how weak you are, there's somebody there that will talk to you, that will come and spend time with you and help you through the baddest part of the addiction. And if not, music can do it. John P. Key helped my children get clean, and I'll ever be grateful for him for the music that he put out at that time. Show Up And the brighter day, I can go on and on, but it helped them recover. Now I want to ask Barbara about this new house that is coming on. For the first time, we've got in the black community a new house that is coming open for women who are ex-cons. What will be some of the programming that you suggest for these women as far as the restoration is concerned?
Some of the programming that is needed when you're in a recovery house is structure. Always having meetings, get grounded in a good church, have responsibilities in the house, a budget, itinerary, just changing your whole lifestyle. Because when out there using drugs, we do what we want to do, when we want to do it, and how we want to do it. But when you change your lifestyle, there's order. There's order in your life. There's order when you get up, order when you work, and order when you go to bed. There's responsibilities in a house. When you're living in a house and you're coming back to a lifestyle of living, there's responsibilities. And also being able to connect with other women, or if it's in a men's house, other men, and working through issues that cause you pain, issues that make you happy, and working together to change and rebuild that person.
Well, I understand that many of our addicts had a very poor upbringing. Maybe their parents weren't there, or maybe just one parent, or maybe one parent, maybe the mother was an addict, and that's all they know. So they have to have great patience to learn how to live as a human being rather than a addict. And that, I know, is very frustrating, because we're grown. We don't want to be told what to do, when to go to bed, what to eat, what to do, where to go, and all of that. But you got to start on the first step that you needed to start when you were a child. And if you don't take that instruction, usually you'll go back into the drug scene. Am I right?
Right. If you don't change your behavior, that's what contributes. Drugs is just a small part. It's my behavior. It's my lifestyle. I work with 12 women, and these women are good women. They're mothers. They're hurting, though. They grew up in households with a lot of dysfunction, and it turned out on them when they got grown and began to have children. There was no structure as I do what I want to do, how I want to do it. But we came into these women's lives, and we were able to show them that first we loved them, and we helped them to understand and see that they needed to change their lifestyle. The women now are working. They have, if they needed drug and alcohol treatment, they're in drug and alcohol treatment. They're going back to school, some of them to get their high school diploma. Thank you, John Gregory. And just opening, so many doors are opening for them. They're beginning to see that it's not all about them, that if they take a step, the whole community will step out, which reminds me of a lady who wouldn't go to a job interview because she said she didn't have a stroller and she couldn't carry her child, just carrying him. And I said, well, okay, I'm going to leave it up to you. I looked around, see the girl pushing a stroller, going to get this application for the job. And I asked her, I said, where'd you get that stroller at? She said, some lady just asked me, did I need a stroller? I said, but you wouldn't have got it if you didn't step out that door. So there are things that people learn, and she learned that day that all I have to do is make one step. And that's what you do when you're on alcohol or drugs, and these opiates is killing our families, is you take that step saying, help me, and we will be there to help you.
Talktainmentradio.com is a 24/7 to no change worldwide broadcasting facility with hosts delivering various topics such as news, lifestyle, sports, law, health and wellness, religion, politics. And here's several shows I would like for you to share with you. I know Libby. We just left Libby. Libby and her show is very powerful. Then we have Kahari in Aharo. He has a show, and he just plays music, and we love his show because it's a time to relax and listen to some of the things for today. You can go to talktainmentradio.com, click on programs for scheduled times, Talktainment Radio, that's radio the way it should be heard. This is Dr. K. Robinson, and you're on the Voice of Deliverance. Voice of Deliverance is about truth. It's about hearing things from maybe a new perspective, getting an understanding that there are doors in our community that will help you get on your feet, whether you don't have a job, whether you're addicted, whether you're a hurting mother with small children. There are places that you can go in this city that is so abundant. Really, when I moved here, I was shocked to see how much help you can get here if you're in trouble and crisis. And Barbara Clark, our guest today, is one of these go-to people. That's how I met her. I went to her. I couldn't get my health care and stuff together, and she put me in touch with people who gave me medicine and just hooked me up. She has many, many gifts and many, many connections in the community that help people that are down. There are no reason for you to stay down. Not in this city, because there's too many people that will help you. I would like to say in this time that I know that there are things that are coming forth as far as the opioid crisis that we're in. And I want you to share some of the things that you have planned for the coming months.
Well, we're reaching out to the churches. One thing that you lose in addiction is your soul. So we're asking churches to open the doors to allow people to come in to restore their souls and help them to see that there is help and we love you in spite of. We're asking churches to be resource centers. So what I do is I go to congregations, I speak in front of congregations, and I let them know the help that's available, because whether we want to admit it or not, there are people in our congregations who are experience the drugs, and we wanted them to understand what and how does addiction begin. We're getting addicted on prescribed medicines and not taking them the right times, or overtaking them, getting them and don't need them, and it becomes a habit. And once you have this habit, it becomes an addiction. So educating people on that. 4,149 people OD on opiates last year. 520 something was in Franklin County. So out of the 88 counties, we had 524, I think it was, OD on opiates. So we want to make sure that you're understanding when you're putting something in your body, up your nose, swallowing, that you may not live through it. You know, take some responsibility. Say, is this the last time I'm going to see my child? Is this the last time I'm going to see my mother? Is this the last time I'm going to have all my faculties?
All right.
When you're taking these drugs. So make sure you educate yourself before you get on these drugs.
I understand addiction based to my food addiction. There was a time where I ate. I was a diabetic, and my sugar was out of control. That was my experience in knowing what it is not to be able to tell my body no. It was craving and sensation to eat sweets and things, and I really had no strength to stop it. And that's when I really, and then I was a smoker. And that was the hardest thing for me to get over, was smoking cigarettes. I love to smoke. I would smoke and read the Bible. I've had guys tell me that they'll never stop doing drugs because they enjoy the high. Now, you're maybe turning away the greatest pleasure that you have in your life. And you've got to shut it down and say you're not going to do it anymore. The church, as you say, is a place that really is mentioned when you go to prison, when you go to rehab. But up until that time, we don't want to hear anything about God. We don't want to hear anything about the church. Now you tell me that churches are beginning to reach out and provide facilities and teaching about drug addiction.
Churches have become a large entity in helping this opiate crisis. Churches are opening their doors. I meet with pastors every day to tell them what we're doing, and they welcome the connectors into their church to explain to their congregation what an addiction is and what does it do to the families. Most of them already know because they see it every day in the community or someone in their family or someone in their congregation. Yes, the churches are getting involved.
Well, I know a lot of pastors who were once addicts, and God changed their life and called them into a ministry. Now, if you have a ministry, if you don't have some type of knowledge about addiction, you really shoot over the people's head and make them think that life is wonderful. And of course, these people are sitting there feeling like they have no hope because nobody is telling them that they can overcome this. You said something that caught my ear. You're telling me that there are some people in the church that are addicts.
Most definitely. People are in the church that are abusing prescribed medicine. It may be medicine that was prescribed to them. I've had people come to me who have had a surgery and found out that they began to get addicted to the pain medication that was prescribed to them. Yes, there are people sitting in the church with an addiction.
Do you think that doctors lean into this and give us too much medication?
Well, I think the doctors need to monitor the medication more and look at their client. They know what their client looked like and behaved and what their conversation was when they gave them the prescription. So they need to be able to look at them and say, whoa, this person isn't talking like they used to talk. Or doctors know addiction. They know it. They know the behavior, the action. There's no way that you can be addicted to a drug and nobody knows. Somebody knows you're not the person that you were.
I think there is a lot of money involved in this addiction.
Absolutely. There's money. Everybody makes money. Yeah, so I guess, and then it's the love of money. People with money use it for power, position, and money. People do that all the time. And then if they got a product that everybody want, they use that as well. So it's who you are if you're feeding into this opiate crisis. Are you on the good side of helping, or are you on the side of destroying? Or are you on the side of just not knowing? So all of that, we need to come together as a community and support people who are addicts, and support people and get them to treatment. Support people by telling them, I love you, even when they don't love themselves. And that helps a lot. Sometimes people don't hear I love you for years. And so that feeds the addiction because they want to cover up that pain.
Right. You're saying a lot of good stuff, because we don't hear the actual testimony of what needs to be done and what is available. And most people do not know how to address the issue of addiction because they don't think they're addicted when they drink Pepsi after Pepsi after Pepsi. They don't think that's an addiction. Or when they sit and eat and eat and eat, that's an addiction. You can get addicted to anything because a human being is just like a sponge. We absorb everything around us. And if it makes us feel good, even like the sexual addiction, anything that makes us feel good, we're going to do that as much as possible. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. But understanding and knowing how to love yourself, putting God first in your life, and then knowing how to learn to love yourself. It's about you. It's about you. And then you spread it out. You can't love anyone till you can love yourself.
TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go. I want you to check us out at 94.1 WGRN. Podcasts are available. Download it. TalkTainmentRadio.com. Apps to your cell or your tablet. That's radio, the way it should be heard. And we want you to stay right there and continue to listen to the voice of deliverance. This is the opioid crisis. This is the crisis that is in Columbus. I see young men and women so thin you can almost see through them, just drop and fall on the ground. It is serious what we are doing to ourselves in the name of a feel-good. Sometimes it's an innocent thing. I heard one of my associates said that he got hooked on cocaine by going to the bathroom. He was at, what was his name? Well, he was a big artist. And he went into the bathroom and a man gave him some cocaine, and he became addicted to cocaine. He spent 27 years of his life from taking that one hit.
Wow.
That's a long time. You're wasting the majority of your life, and especially the important part of your life where you got health and strength, your youth. And this is the devil's plan. We have to realize there is an evil and there is a good. We haven't got this word out the way as much as we should to let people know that it's a choice. You have to choose whether you're going to live a good life or an evil life. And if you don't choose it, evil chooses you. It's almost like sitting in the middle of a highway. If you don't move, somebody's going to run over you. That's what the devil does. If you don't choose and decide what kind of person you're going to be in this life, then the devil or evil is going to grab you up, offer you some cocaine, and there you have gone 27 years, wasted your life, getting high, stealing, going to prison, running yourself down, almost dying, all of this kind of stuff. For what? You've got to stop it. Make it up in your mind, if you can't stop it now, that you will stop it, that you're going to stop it. Most addicts don't even think about stopping it. Am I right or wrong, Barbara?
You're absolutely right. Well, let me take that back. Because addicts who are out there, who have been out there some time, there's plenty of days that they cry, they get on their knees, they pray, and they don't want to live that lifestyle. You said it. They get up chasing drugs, go to bed chasing drugs, and so you get tired. And when you get tired enough, you're going to ask for help.
I did have an experience with a young man who asked me to help him. He was sick and he was hungry. And he called me and said, I'm hungry and I'm sick. And I took some food over to him, and when he walked out, I didn't even recognize him. When it was all over, he said, after he stood there a while, he said, I'm tired. That was what I was waiting on. Because if he doesn't get tired, it doesn't make any difference how tired I am. It's based on the fact he has to get tired. And he decided to change. Now he's got a job, he done bought a car, he done moved in another city. I said sometimes I get jealous of overcoming addicts because God just seems to tap dance across the sky when they decide to change. And they get help from everywhere. Everywhere. Their children come back. Sometimes the wives want to try it again, or they get a new girlfriend and they get married and they buy a home. And I said, man, I'm struggling out here trying to make ends meet, and that's all they needed to tell God is I want to change. And he said, okay, son, let's get it. Let's do this. Yeah, I'll give you this job. Then you can buy this house. I've actually seen this happen over and over and over again. Almost makes me jealous.
You know what? People do get jealous.
Oh, really?
People, yes, they get so jealous of you getting favor and grace, and I've seen I almost said it, but yeah, people do get jealous when you're getting blessed, and I'd be like, come with me, I'll share it. I've seen people I catch them looking at me sometime, and they look at me like, but that's okay because I love them anyway. I still love them.
All right, we're going to take a break right here. We'll be back in a few minutes. It's the opium crisis. We got to stop it. You going to help us? Okay, thank you.
I'm glad I didn't get no makeup. I'd have been burning up.
I've got the water, energy bars, and camera. I think we're set for the hike.
Almost. We need to protect our skin. Don't forget your wide-brimmed hat and sunscreen.
All right. I've got the hat. I've got SPF 30. Will that work?
Yeah, anything 15 or higher is good. Just make sure it says broad spectrum.
Great. Got it. I am not getting burned again. Let's go.
Learn more at cdc.gov/cancer. Robe is an intriguing, riveting, mysterious novel written on forgiveness by Renee Smith. Order your copy today at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. That's The Robe by Renee Smith.
For the best home fragrance and beauty products, shop Ash Kickin online.
That's ASHKICKIN.
Made with 100% natural quality ingredients and handcrafted with your family in mind, Ash Kickin products are better than those other guys. Ash Kickin candles, incense, body butter, face moisturizer, and hair moisturizer are priced just right, and you can get yours at 10% off with coupon code TALK17. Support this 100% black-owned business and get your home and body smelling and feeling all right.
That's ASHKICKIN.
Shop Ash Kickin online at www.ashkickin.com.
Every year, June marks the beginning of two busy seasons, summer and wedding season. If you are legally changing your name, you need to apply for a replacement Social Security card reflecting your new name. This is easier to fix now when you first change your name than years from now when you retire. So go to our website at www.socialsecurity.gov/SS number or call us at 1-800-772-1213, TTY 1-800-325-0778 to find out what specific documents you need to change your name and apply for a replacement card.
If you or someone you know is abusing drugs and or alcohol and want to stop the abuse, contact APDS at 1409 East Livingston Avenue. Office hours are 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily and 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday. APDS is certified by the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services and primarily funded through the Adam H. Board. Fees are based on your income and Medicaid is always accepted. For more information, call 614-253-4448.
This is Al Edmondson, owner of a Cutter Brother Rest Barbershop. I'm calling on all barbers and beauticians. It's time for us to unite as one. We can serve our communities better together. Join the Ohio Black Barber Beauty Network. For more information, visit www.obbn.org or call 614-427-3226 to get more information. Be the change that you want to see in your community. Join our network.
TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go. Download it right now. TalkTainmentRadio.com app to your cell or your tablet. That's radio the way it should be heard. This is Dr. K. Robinson. I am so excited. I got a guest in the house that I've been waiting on. We've got a new organization, a new league that we're going to introduce to you, Columbus, and the world. We're going worldwide with this one. Yes, you're on the Voice of Deliverance. We're to the call-in 1-877-932-9766. Hello, Barbara Clark.
Hello, Kay. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. The best is yet to come. You want to know why? Because this is the CEO of the Black Woman's Voting League. We started right here in Columbus. And every time, they've been that before. Not like this one. Not like this one, because we're not going to quit. So if there were others, why are they not there? Why didn't we know about it? But this time, we're standing to be strong and to increase so that every black woman from 18 to 55 and 45 will be voting from now on. We can make a difference. Let's hear about it from our CEO, our president also, Barbara Clark.
Good evening, everyone. And this is another hat that I carry dear to my heart. Is the Black Women's Voters League. We created it because women between the ages of 18 and 45 just aren't voting. So why aren't they voting? Are they educated on the issues? Do they know how to vote? Do they know when to vote? And this is what we do. Our main purpose and goal is to educate black women to vote people in office that are going to work on issues that affect them. We're a self-interest group. We have so many politicians down there that don't work on issues that affect our community, and more than that, our families. So we're going out there to support our black men who have been paving the road and fighting on these issues forever. And so we're stepping up with our men and make it bigger and better to educate our black women on how their voice. I like that, Kay, when your show is the voice of deliverance. I wish I'd have thought of that when I was naming the Black Women's Voters League. I'd have added that on there.
It ain't too late.
Okay, I am so glad that you're a part of it and educating women on how loud their voice is when they vote.
The thing that I love about it is going to help us understand, accept, and move on the fact that your vote makes a difference. I hear that so much. Well, it doesn't make a difference. I only got one vote. Yeah, but 1 and 1 is 2. 2 and 2 is 4. 4 and 4 is 6. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I heard somebody say, no, 4 and 4 is 8. I just want to know if you're listening. But it's a matter that you do matter. And because voting is the greatest power that we have to bring about a change in our community and for our children. Now, I want you to go into detail about some of the things that we don't know about voting.
Well, one of the things that we don't know about voting is if you're a felon, you can vote. Some of the things we don't know about voting is how a politician...
Wait a minute. Back up. I'm sorry. Excuse me for interrupting. If you're a what?
If you are a felon, you can vote in the state of Ohio.
I heard that you couldn't vote.
Oh, so that's why we're out there, because you can vote.
Oh, well,
yes.
That changes everything.
Yes, you can vote. Don't let nobody tell you can't. If they do, come and see me.
Well, I just did, and you let me know, because I had men tell me that I'm a felon, I can't vote. I said, in prison you can't vote. But when you're on the street and you've been released, you can vote. They say, no, we can't. So that's a lie.
Oh, yeah, that's a lie.
So we got a lot of lies to break down, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right, so that's number one. Now go on. Now whatever else don't we know?
So the other thing that we don't know is that politicians work for us. Addressing our issues that cause barriers for us not to move ahead. Okay. And so we need to make sure that they're hearing us when we say we have an issue with this. These are things that stop us from getting jobs, stop us from child care issues, the way that our businesses operate in our community, the way that politicians just address policies and procedures. We have control on how those come out. So we want to make sure we're educating people to understand what self-interest means and understand their concerns and issues in their community.
The main thing that happened to us is separation. We've been segregated from each other. And I hear this, and I heard it today, that, really, we can vote somebody in office, and then if they don't do, and they probably don't do what they say they're going to do, well, then what's the use of voting? Didn't we hear that at the meeting today?
Yes, we did. One thing that I can say about Columbus is you get the same family in office. And what I mean by that is you get one person in, they there for 16 years. Then you get that next person in, they do what the same thing that person was doing. So eliminating zip codes, not feeding into a zip code. And I kind of feel like they support the people that support them.
Of course.
And they're not coming in or they're taking out of our communities what's needed.
Well, I'm here to tell you that whoever that we could vote in as the Black Women's League, my prayer goes up for them, because once they get in that position, then they're intimidated by the ones that are already there, the ones that are controlling the black community so that it does not go forth, and seemingly that their hands can be tied.
Well, what I think is the politicians get in, and whoever paid for their campaigns, they made promises. So they have to live up to those promises. And in our community, we don't have the money to give them for the campaign. So what we do have, though, is numbers. We talk about the issues that we need, and we go to candidates' nights, and we listen to what they say. And if their program or agenda doesn't line up with anything that's going to help me or my family, then we don't vote for them. The Black Women's Voters League says we will vote, I don't care if you're white, black, Republican, Democrat, Green, Independent. You have to get our vote by focusing on our issues.
All right. Well, there's a power source in our hands that we can use. It's been tested, I think, in Georgia. Alabama. And that got my attention. I said, wow, we can make a difference. This is what we're looking for. We're looking for something that will make a difference in our demise. We have been going down, down, down. Now, for too many years, if we stand up and vote, that will be one power source that we can use for our benefit. And we're interested in all of you women and men that have not voted. We've got a lot of young men that never voted, or maybe they voted once and never voted again. We just need to test the waters. You know, faith without works is dead. If you've got faith that you're going to live tomorrow, well, use that same faith to vote, to see how much that will make a difference when others will join with you. This is a time to get excited because this is a time of change. We can change things if we want to change, but we've got to put forth an effort. I would like to say that there is a fundraiser for the first time that's happening tomorrow where you can call and get some dinners for $10 because we need information. We need printed literature. There's just anything you do in the world is going to cost you some money, right?
Right. And so we're having these dinner sales at 240 North Champion around the back for the Black Women's Voters League. It's a fundraiser to support the work that we do. One thing that you talked about, Dr. Robinson, you talked about taste and see. You know, in the spiritual world, you know, just give it a little bit. Just go in there and understand and get educated on what your vote means. It loudens your voice, if that's a word, but it makes your voice louder. I'll say that.
Right.
All right, leave
me alone. You do have a voice.
You do have a voice. And the more you speak it, the more people hear it.
Right.
You know, you got to get out there. I remember in an election a few years ago when the community came out and they registered people to vote, and they got people to vote who never was registered. They got people out there and they voted, and we won the election. When you seen the look on those men and women's faces on election night when they said the 44th president, I think it was, of the United States,
right.
They knew that was the work that they did. That they got out there and they threw the snow, the rain, the heat, and everything else, and it made a difference. So when you saw that, why didn't you come back again and do the same thing? We got to vote on every election. We have to vote for people that are dealing with our concerns, our issues, our problems. And if they're not, don't vote for them. Don't not vote, but don't vote for the people who you just went in there and went down the ballot line because they look like you, or they said they're going to give you. Those two things they use all the time is jobs and education. You know, that we through with that. We know that you're not going to help our schools. We know and see that you're not getting any jobs in our community. When we get someone that's going to say that and do that, those are the ones we support.
Now, this is a power source. As you're listening, you realize that if we take our power back and use it for our benefit to vote, and if they do not do what they have promised, you vote them out. You keep voting till you get what you want. And they will have to recognize that. They will have to play into it because they realize if I don't give these people what they want, they're not going to vote me in. They're not going to vote my party back in. So we've got to use what we've got. Sometimes when you're fighting a battle, you may not have a gun, you may not have a knife, you may not have any mace, but you've got strength. Just use your human strength and go to work. You know what I'm saying? And your human strength is push that voting button. I vote. Yes, I do, because it's my right. I've talked to young girls who voted for the first time and they came home crying because they felt so good about what they were doing. This is our responsibility, to be a part of our political environment. We're a part of the United States. We're a part of paying taxes. We're part of getting Social Security. We're part of poverty. We got a whole lot invested in this nation. You understand what I'm saying? We want something back. The way you get it back, take it back, is take your power and vote for people that know that your vote makes a difference, because 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4, and 4 and 4 is 8. Am I right?
All right, you're right.
Count it out, baby.
You're right.
Count it out.
One thing that we're doing with the Black Women's Voters League is educating people in our community, getting leaders, building leaders up in our community, and supporting leaders that are already there, that's really fighting for us, and we're not standing behind them.
Right.
We have a lot of leaders that I know can sit downtown in the mayor's office, on city council, or even in the mayor's seat, you know, and fight for things for everybody, you know, because that's one thing about us in a community who have suffered through finances and poverty and things. You
talking about black folk?
Well, no, because some black folks get down there and forget what color they is. So we want to talk about leaders in the community that have seen poverty, that has experienced it enough to want to see change in the community. Or we have some leaders in our community who have made it and are doing the work, but we're just not there supporting them. So we have to make sure that we build strong leaders by supporting them and making sure that they know downtown that we're building these leaders, and look out.
There is a part of your human spirit. The last thing in your human spirit is responsibility. You have to be responsible for your space. You have to be responsible for what you create. If you create poverty, you're going to be responsible for it. Why don't you take your power and create a good living example and future for your children and your family? Why don't you pull yourself up and seek some good days in your life? Seek some changes. You'll never know that you can make a change if you don't try. I have found one thing out about change. When you make it up in your mind, as my grandmother would say, she said, I made it up in my mind. When she said that, you better back up, because she was coming through. Make it up in your mind that you're going to seek change, and change will find you. Am I right or wrong, Barbara?
You're right. You know, we got to stop living this insanity life. You know, that's doing the same thing, expecting results. And stop living that. You know, we have to do things that's going to create results. Come into our community, build our community. We have children that I'm not getting any younger, even though I may look it, but yes, I'm not getting any younger. And so I have children, I have grandchildren, I have great-grandchildren that I have to leave some education behind so that they can move forward. If we don't do anything for our children now, they're going to have them sitting in line on the street, giving them those lunches that Trump talked about. You know, we can't allow that. We pay taxes just like the next person. And we have the rules, just they work for us just like they do everybody else. So we have to make them understand that your leadership is for everybody, not just certain people.
Read the signs of the time. It doesn't take rocket science to realize there's a plan against us. There is a spirit of destruction. They've been very successful so far in holding us down, in holding us back. I'm talking to black people now. And it is up to you to stand up and say, no more. I've had enough. When these big time producers and movie makers and everything started grabbing white women, then they come up with Me Too. In other words, they did Me Too. And then all this money started rolling where these men have to pay. But what happened? Somebody stood up and said, they did me that way too. And the law said, oh, look at that. That's a shame. He ought to pay him $4 million. You see what I mean? Why can't we say the same thing? that I've been persecuted. I have been set up to fail. I have been destroyed. I have been ignored. I've been starved. I've been beaten. I was stolen from my own country. At what time are we going to wake up and say, I've had enough? I'm standing up. I've stood up in a time in my life where I really didn't have anything to hold on to. I didn't know where my help was going to come from. But guess what? It did. And I'm telling you today, that's all you got to do is make it up in your mind that you're going for change. And it will happen. It starts in your mind first. If it doesn't in your mind, it's never going to happen. What are you going to do with this opportunity to vote? Are you just going to let it lay? That's a small thing. Just go and register. If you come to the dinner tomorrow, you can register tomorrow. Hello? Am I right, Barbara?
Absolutely. We will have voter registration cards there, and you will be able to register to vote. And ask questions. If you don't understand the voting process, ask. We will be having workshops. We will be having community conversations. Come out and speak. And if you have something to bring to it, some education and leadership skills to bring to it, you can come out and do that as well. Get on the agenda and teach our community about the importance of standing up and speaking out for yourself.
TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go. Yeah, download it. Why don't you do that? TalkTainmentRadio.com app to your cell or tablet. And that's radio the way it should be heard. While you're on the go, while you're driving the car. Yes, this is Dr. K. Robinson, and this is the voice of Deliverance. You can call in anytime to any of our talk show hosts at 1-877-932-9766. This show today is about getting involved, in getting up and moving, changing your life. We're going to say our final words are going to be given to our guest, Barbara. We thank you so much for coming and sharing. You're well prepared to speak on the issues that you have been given to represent. And I'm encouraged even more, although I talk to you all the time, but I'm encouraged even more because it's just like it's all can come together. But we're waiting on those that are listening and those that are in our community to step in behind us. Meet us when we say there's going to be a meeting. Listen to 95.5 Sunday morning from 7 to 9. We've got Straight Talk. You can call in and ask any question you want to ask, and we'll answer you over live TV. Ain't that something? And computer too. But close us out today.
Yes, the Black Women's Voters League is always looking for people to be involved.
All right.
We're out there. Call me, 614-517-2002. I want to thank you for Columbus for coming out to our kickoff. It was standing room only. Let's make this city standing room only when we're speaking out for ourselves.
This is Dr. K. Robinson on the Voice of Deliverance. I care. I care about you today, whoever you are. We're not just talking to black people. We're talking to people everywhere. But there are sometimes babies need special care. And those are the ones that we spend our time with to get them back up on their feet. And this is what we're talking about in a black community. We need somebody to care for us, somebody to love us, and somebody to stand and preach and teach and encourage and love us until we get back up on our feet. It's not over until God says it's over. And we've got more time to get things right. I am so excited to be a part. I moved here not knowing. I thought I was going to retire. Now I'm busier than I've ever been in my life. Barbara's got something else to say. Say it, Barbara.
I'm always, everything that comes out of my mouth is about coming in, strengthening and strengthen numbers. Come in, women, join the Black Women's Voters League. Get educated if you're not, and make this city revolve and really be a city that loves each other, a city that cares about every community, a city that when you're elected for everybody and not just the people with the money. We have to stop letting our money, power, and position control the people. We have to do it from our hearts and our leadership and doing what we're supposed to be doing instead of what we're paid to be doing.
Well, that will be a change because everything has been about money up until this time. And we realize that if you have life, and you got a whole lot of money and you begin to lose your life, your money's not going to do you any good. The greatest thing that we use money for is to make us be better, feel better, and do better things. There's nothing that makes you feel better than to know somebody loves you. And we're here today. Barbara and I are here because we love you. We want to always put out a word of encouragement, even if it's only one person that gets a change. We want that to happen. We want you to be encouraged. Columbus is one of the greatest states in the country. We are building. We're getting ready for something. I don't know, but they're not building anything for me. But they're still building beautiful apartments. People are moving here. We're on the move. There's a lot of money in Columbus, a lot of poverty, and we want to change that in our neighborhood. We want to be blessed also.
There's a lot of opportunity here in Columbus, Ohio. Come on out and be a part of it. Join the Black Women's Voters League.
Behold, what manner of love so divine the Father doth on us bestow. By his own design, he'd make all hearts whiter than snow. Oh, it's amazing, it's precious, it's amazing, it's glorious, it's amazing. So amazing, it's mysterious, and it is love. Oh, it's love that comes down above. Yes, it comes from above. I can't understand it, my Savior. It's so amazing. Shouting and praising, hallelujah, hallelujah, what manner of love has this peace? Oh, it's mysterious, it's precious, it's mysterious, it's glorious, it's mysterious, it's wonderful. It's amazing, for it is love.